You're not in the picture too. You went back to some of your problems. I'm telling you.
Ready.
Okay. So, Officer Jack, how long have you been here at Berea Mid Park Middle School?
I've been at Berea Mid Park Middle School since the beginning of the school year. We launched the program in accordance with the first day of school. We came over for the Teacher in-Service Week. We did an ALICE training with the teachers to get familiar with the staff. And then on day one, we were in the building.
And when we came here, it looks like all the kids just like love you, right? They're like shouting out to you. So you really developed relationships with the students.
Yes, being in the building full time has really given me an opportunity to get to know some of the kids, work with them on an individual basis. A lot of the kids that I have most interaction with are some of our more what some would call troublesome children. They're the ones that are removed from class or in what's called our student management room. Those are the kids I get more time to interact with and speak with. Because I obviously don't interrupt classes, I don't want to interrupt learning time for the children. So I use that in between time or when kids are removed from class for discipline reasons to build relationships and talk with them.
I mean, and at the end of the day, they're just kids. So do you enjoy that time that you get with the kids who maybe get into a little bit of trouble?
I absolutely enjoy it. I'm happy to be here. I'm not going to say it's not challenging. There's definitely days where I leave here exhausted. It can be tiring. They can try your patience. But like you said, they're kids. That's kind of what they do and what they're good at. And it's fun and it's interesting to watch how they perceive situations and how they work through problems. And sometimes I'm happy to be here to help them with that.
What do you love most about the fact that this program was put into place? Like, I'm sure you feel like this is a great idea to keep the schools safer.
Yeah, the idea of having school resource officers in the building, I think is incredibly valuable, not only to the school environment and for these kids individually, but it's also an asset to the community. I'm able to go out into the community and these kids are going to know me and some of the families are going to get to know me. So in the summer when I'm back on patrol working with my fellow coworkers, responding to calls and dealing with everyday incidents of that sort, the relationship that I built here I'm sure will translate over into patrol. And I'm hoping to, as I build my relationships here, I'm hoping to bring the guys from patrol in and introduce them to the kids and the families so that we get a chance to meet when it's not so high tense as sometimes when we go to calls for certain disturbances on the road during patrol, it's a little bit more intense and we don't get that good relationship building time.
Yeah, because talk about the dynamic between police officers and young children, because you want there to be a respect level, yet at the same time...
Sorry, I don't know if they want any video.
Oh, okay, I don't think they do.
Oh yeah, you probably...
Can I have you stand
Since
here
you-
with the paper? Thanks.
Thanks,
Just
but
if his parents see and they're like,
yeah, if he's not, yeah, absolutely.
I
Ready.
think that relationship between young people and police officers, you could talk a little bit about that, like how you make sure that you maintain the respect level, but at the same time, they're comfortable coming to you and feel like they're not necessarily afraid of you, right?
Yes, young people and police have always historically had a trying relationship at times. In this building, I saw it from day one. There's some kids that were standoffish that didn't want to come up to me and talk to me about things. And then you roll on top of it that the first interaction I'm having with them is when they're being removed from class or they're in the office for a discipline reason. And I sit down and I try to talk with them. And at first, they're all little lack of trust. But over time, I've been able to build that rapport, and the administration here has been excellent in helping me do that as they've taken me out of the discipline process. As I tell all the kids, I don't give detentions, I don't give suspensions. I'm not here to discipline children. I'm here to build relationships and talk with kids and support the staff through anything that they need. But for the most part, as far as discipline is concerned, that is left to the administrators, the educators, and that's their duty and that's what they're good at. So I stay out of their way.
And so then the feedback from the students and the faculty, do they basically say they feel safer with you here?
Yes, some of the students early on, I think, were concerned because I was here, and I got a lot of questions of, well, there wasn't a police officer here last year, so what's different? Are we unsafe? Is that why you're here? Is there a problem? But over time, I think they've come to realize that, again, I'm just another adult in the building. I'm another staff member. I'm here to help them with whatever they need, and I'm here to support the educational staff and try to keep the environment as safe and as fluid for them as I can so that the kids can learn.
And so when the student said to you, what's different? Because we didn't have this stuff to do last year, now we do. Is there something we should be worried about? Your answer to that was what?
Basically, I just told them that I was assigned here. It wasn't, and I didn't give any deeper reason. I said, my boss told me to be here, so this is why I'm here. And I kind of use that in my teaching moments with them when they say, oh, well, I don't want to do this assignment, or this teacher is annoying, or whatever it is. I remind them, I'm like, well, we all have jobs to do, and my job right now is to be here, and your job right now is to be in class learning.
Because you still want them to be able to be kids and enjoy school.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they don't need to know the. Again, we did an ALIS drill, for example, which is the active shooter, active threat drills in the building, and we ran an ALIS drill last week, I believe. And while we don't want it to be a joke, we want it to be taken seriously. We want the kids to understand that if these things are enacted, there's a real reason why. But we don't want them afraid of it. The same way that I don't want the children to be afraid of me, but they do understand that. At the end of the day, I'm an authority figure in the building, and if I end up telling them something needs to be done a certain way, I haven't gotten much pushback from that when it gets to a point of being serious.
Is there anything else you can do?
That was good.
That was awesome.